What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Once again, we are back for career mode, episode number 65 for the My Team journey. Now, before we go any further, you need to check out the last episode if you haven't seen it already, because that will make everything seem a lot more sensical. For those of you who missed it, we won the championship. So, yeah, heading into these final two races of the season, we're going to be starting from the back. So, last place on the grid, last to first challenge in the Marduk Motorsport car in a 50% race. I do have my OP teammate who will be, well, hopefully qualifying at the front and making things very difficult for us. But it'll be interesting to completely skip out the qualifying segment of the weekend, meaning that we may be a little bit undercooked heading into the race itself, which poses its own challenges as well. But yeah, it's going to be all against us in these final two rounds of the championship. So yeah, we're just going to have a bit of fun in these last two episodes and then gear up for Season 4, where there's going to be a massive shake-up with the regulation changes. Those of you who may have missed it, we're having chassis department and also the downforce department being reset across the board for all F1 teams. So it's down to all of us to basically consolidate those components in order for them to be legal for next year. But Friday practice, went through the track acclimatization run and the race run, and we topped the session narrowly over our teammate Sebastian Vettel, 1.5 tenths to him there. So that confirms to us that the pace is decent, and we can head into the race with a bit of confidence. We do have relatively fresh engine components. We're on our third column now, but they're all about 30% or less, so pretty good on that front. The race will be raining, as you can see there, and it's going to go dry towards the end, so there is going to be a bit of strategy. Let's see if that can help us somewhat. It's not going to help us in terms of overtaking. There's not going to be any DRS. We're not going to have the advantage of fresher tires in the race, but, and I think the car is pretty decent in the rain, then that should hopefully work into our favor. But we'll have to wait and see, though. But yeah, we're getting ready for the race now. We have to take a penalty for not changing our engine components before qualifying. So we were going to start last. We're now going to start last, but on the moon, essentially. 132 place grid penalty. Sweet. Let's get it.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness, and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
One shady Ferrari character later, and we are ready to start this race. The Brazilian Grand Prix. On pole is my teammate Sebastian Vettel. Lewis Hamilton rounding out the front row of the grid. Since we didn't do qualifying, this is a bit of a mystery to all of us. So in the top 10, we have our usual contenders, I would say. One name that was missing was Valtteri Bottas, P11 in the Mercedes. Nowhere near good enough for that driver in that car. He may well be getting replaced for Season 4. We'll have to wait and see. And then there's me, 132 place grid penalty.
Okay, we've already won the championship, so relax and enjoy this race.
Thanks, Jeff. I will do just that. There is absolutely no pressure on me to deliver in this race. We're out to have a bit of fun. We're going to see if we can win from last place. I think we've got like 11 wins against our name. Championship is already sewn up. Constructors already sorted. So there is nothing more for me to gain except pride. And yeah, we're going for the ultimate pride in winning from the back, which is, I don't think, something we've done this season, though maybe we have. Lights out and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate race of Season 3 of F1 2020 Career Mode Minding, down into Turn 1. And we're having a little look there at Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. Nothing really doing there. We're trying to set up a nice run out of the Center S. And you can see a bit of a wheel spin starting to kick in. This is my very first laps of the weekend in wet conditions. I've got to say I'm a little bit rusty on the F1 game. You might have noticed I haven't uploaded very much. I did have a couple of days off for my birthday, but I am back and I'm ready to get in the mix, have a bit of fun. You can see a little bit hesitant going through the double right-hander in the middle sector. Do get past Mick Schumacher, though, and Giovinazzi into this little braking zone, trying to sneak past Nick de Vries now, Matsushita and the Williams, trying to go right around the outside, but that's not been a good line from us, and we've lost the spot to Giovinazzi around the outside now into this slow cambered hairpin. And take the outside line, still trying to find a way past Nick de Vries, the F2 world champion. Even going slightly defensive into the last corner prevents me from having a dive there, but we're going to try and set up the move here on this start-finish straight. This really long and winding straight. We've set up the car well, the straight line speed, and that proves dividends on this straight. We get past Nick de Vries, and now we're going to get past Matsushita around the outside into Turn 1, and that has been a decent first lap. P22 to P18, one corner cutting warning used up already, so let's kind of calm that down. We only get 3 of those before we get a warning. You can see a couple of losses at the back end, which wasn't great on our part, but we're still trying to find our feet, try to find the limits of the grip of this car. This is a very powerful car, this Season 3 Career Mode car. Pretty much maxed out in all facets. We've got maximum engine power. So there's a lot of torque that comes from this engine, and it means that, you know, controlling that power, controlling that wheel spin becomes very difficult. But you can see, again, losses at the back end through the traction zones is really having to manage that a little bit. But I don't know, the longer we get into this race, the better we'll be able to deal with that, I suppose. But next up, we've got Kvyat. We're going to go up the inside into the final corner, and that is us up into the top 16 now. Making handy progress so far, but we need to keep going. Our teammate Sebastian Vettel is leading up front by a couple of seconds over Lewis Hamilton. And, you know, those two are going to be the ones who are contesting for the victory with all those, well, they've got the best cars, but they've also got the best upgrades. Tyre wear upgrades is going to be potentially a deciding factor in who wins this race, being such a long one. It's going to be close as to whether we could get to the end on just one stop, or potentially no stops at all, before the dry weather hits and the switch to the soft compound tyres becomes a viable option. But we'll have to wait and see. In the slipstream of Pierre Gasly, he's in the slipstream, and Nicholas Latifi down into Turn 1. They're going to go up the inside of both of them, Fernando Alonso style, and that is a job done. Great move from us there. I was very happy with that move to get 2 in one go. Here's the replay, and you can see we just got the benefit of the double slipstream. Very late under brakes there. This car is so good under brakes, and we're still not even maxed out in terms of our brake upgrades. So, yeah, imagine how good that would have been if there was no regulation change heading into next season. We'd be able to dive bomb people from probably back here, I reckon, if we had the maxed out brake upgrades. But 30 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. The rain shows no signs of abating just yet. That dry spell is scheduled for the last few laps of the race. You would have to say we might even have a Malaysia 2013 career mode style finish to the race. That would be absolutely lovely. But I'll hold my breath on that one. It's not too often you have races like that pop around every day. But here we go, up the inside of Lance Stroll. That was a bit of a dive bomb. We were pretty far back, but we were able to get that done. We're now starting to get into a rhythm now. We're really starting to find our groove and where the limits of this car is in these conditions. I saw a slight gap in the sky, a little bit of blue sky starting to appear when I was on that start-finish straight. But the rain is still well and truly falling in this Brazilian Grand Prix. It looks like Hamilton and Vettel are really stretching away from the likes of Leclerc and Verstappen. So it looks, I don't know, a little tricky to see that we're going to win this race. I think a podium may well be the maximum, unless there is a safety car. But you never know with weather changes and what have you. We're now up into P12, dispatching of both the racing points now. Next up is my old mate Lando Norris. Could be a potential teammate for next season. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know down in the comments who you want to see drive alongside me. I think with Vettel's poor performances lately, I think he will be shown the door at the end of this season. But we go up the inside of Lando. Doesn't fight us too hard there. Perhaps a dress rehearsal for season 4. We'll have to wait and see. Next up is Valtteri Bottas. Only moved up one spot in that Mercedes, which is pretty poor indeed. He is caught behind Esteban Ocon in the Renault, who has been also very impressive this season. The Renault massively fast in the straight line, and that's probably not helping Bottas's chances in an effort to get past him. We're going green in this sector. The last 2 sectors of this lap, we're getting a clear lap in free air, and it provides dividends. Fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 15.2. I think the previous best was like a 15.4, 15.5. So we knocked that out of the park a little bit, but we've still got a long way to go in this race and a lot of margin to make up towards our teammate. If I had to guess what the gap is, I'd probably say it's like 13 seconds or something like that. So nearly a pit stop as we go up the inside of Valtteri there, down into turn 1. Very late move, but very clean at the same time. Probably the best move I've made of the race so far. Very, very happy with that. And you can see weaving the wheel in happiness as well. Lap 12, we're in the slipstream of Ocon now. And this just seems to be our happy hunting ground, doesn't it? The straight line speed of this Marduk Motorsport car is incredible. Braking is really good too. And, we're just making the most of it. Not the strongest in the middle. I mean, we're fast. Don't get me wrong. We're pretty damn fast in the middle sector. But the way that we've, adjusted the setup, we've gone for like 2.6 wings. So we're not going to have the best speed through the middle sector. And it's not really an overtaking zone of the circuit either. It just sets us up well for overtaking on the straights. And there we go. Another one bites the dust. That is George Russell. P9 for him. He'll be hoping that there is no safety cars in this race today. Next up is Carlos Sainz. And we're really starting to rack through the pack now. We've got 20 laps to go. With these next 7 drivers will be increasingly more and more difficult to overtake as we get into this race. It looks like the track is starting to dry up a little bit now. The rain has actually stopped. I think it stopped. It's not really raining on the screen, despite being in the mist and the spray of Carlos Sainz ahead. There's nothing really hitting the screen. So that suggests to me that the rain maybe isn't, or the dry weather maybe isn't too far away, but it may take a long time for the track to dry. We are getting towards the end of this intermediate stint. We will be boxing at the end of this lap and going on to another set of intermediate tyres. As we saw on the prediction for the forecast, the track isn't going to be fully dry until pretty much the end of the race, apparently, if that's to be trusted, which, we can't trust Jeff too much. So, we're going to box at the end of this lap. I thought we could risk it and maybe come up with a puncture or a win, but I thought, let's just play it safe. We'll come into the pit lane, be on the same strategy as everyone else for a change, and we're going to see if we can win this race on pure merit, on pace, because we're fast anyway, and this just keeps us in the game. So here we go, on to the new set of intermediate tyres. 1.9 second stop there from the guys, but unfortunately we got sent into the path of the McLaren lot, and somehow we didn't get a penalty for an unsafe release, which I will absolutely take. Must have paid off the stewards there. But anyway, my teammate responds on the very next lap. So too does the rest of the field pretty much, and this is where it's going to be for the rest of the race, or the rest of this stint rather, as we're now just waiting for the dry conditions to arrive. So here we go. couple of cars coming out of the fast lane, out of the pit lane now, and onto the track. Albon, Russell, Ocon. Albon gets jumped, though, by Carlos Sainz on older tyres. So this is going to be a little interesting over the next 16 laps. That Red Bull doesn't have the greatest straight line speed, so if we can get close enough to Albon, I reckon we'll easily be able to overtake him in a straight line down into turn 1. That's been the spot of the track where we've been so strong all weekend. Lewis Hamilton setting a fast lap of the Grand Prix, and here we go, just as predicted. Albon doesn't have the straight line speed in that Red Bull. He's under pressure. We get him even before the braking zone, and that is job done for us. P7. Next up is Sainz, then Ricciardo, who's got the fast lap against his name. So that's interesting from the Renault to have that amount of pace. We have caught up to our teammate a little bit by virtue of the undercut. One lap older tyres now for the rest of this race. That could prove costly, but I feel like we've got enough pace in hand to overcome that and hopefully still continue to march forward towards the likes of him and Lewis Hamilton in this race. However, we are running out of time. 10 to go, and I'd want to say the gap to my teammate and Hamilton is probably near on 10 seconds, so we're going to have to hope for a bit of a miracle. It is starting to dry up quite a bit. I think we're probably only, I don't know, a matter of minutes away from switching to the dry compound tyre, so hopefully there's a lot of time that can be made up in that segment of the race. But given that we are the second car in this race and Vettel can come in whenever the hell he wants, being the leader, we're going to have to stack behind him, and we always know the second driver always gets badly treated in the pit stop phases when they both come in at the same time. But we'll have to wait and see. In the slipstream now of Carlos Sainz, and I'm not really making inroads that I really would have liked. These last few minutes have been a bit tricky as we do go up the inside of Sainz. We finally get the move done on him. But just in the last few minutes, I've really been struggling to find the grip. I've really been slipping and sliding around, going in too fast into some corners.
Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
As we get an update from Jeff, I just wanted to know what the weather situation was like. We can see it's dry. It's very, very dry. There is a little bit of spray still coming off the intermediate tyres, which is the only concern I would say for me at this point. We are going purple on this lap now, but I think it is time to go in. If Vettel doesn't come in on this lap, I will do so, because we can't afford to lose time to Vettel in the pit stop phases. So we just need to be a little bit aggressive here. Even though we could go for a fastest lap right now, we want to think about the overall result, and the result is trying to get on the podium, or dare I say, get in the mix with our teammate for the win. So here we go. Aggressive call with 7 to go. We're going to be the first car in the field by quite some way to go onto the dry compound tyres. We are going to be the pioneer, the guinea pig for the rest of the field, and we're going to see if we can fight back. Normally when this happens, oh, it's worked to absolute perfection as the DRS has been enabled, nearly understeering into the barrier on the exit of the pit lane. But yeah, normally when you're on the aggressive like that, most of the time it goes a bit tits up, doesn't it? But the timing, we've got it to perfection. And this is live pictures of my teammate and Hamilton carrying on for another lap on the intermediate tyres. What are they playing at? It is now time to come in. And in fact, no one inside the top 13 has boxed for dry compound tyres. There's 6 to go. There is 6 laps. Surely they are not going to stay out for another 6 laps, thinking that they can make it, thinking that it's going to be faster. We are seeing back markers now boxing on the minimap there, so a bit of sense is finally prevailing for the AI, but maybe it's been a bit too late. We do know that, you know, when you stay out a lap too long on the wrong tyre, it can cost you seconds. Like not just a couple of seconds, but like 10, 20 seconds, sometimes pit stops of a lead relative to those around you. Finally, Vettel is in. We're racing up the inside of Perez there, racing drivers on different weather compounds of tyre. But it's been absolutely crazy. We come across the line, set the fast lap of the Grand Prix by over 2 seconds. There is surely an undercut that is going to be coming out here from us for the option compound tyres out onto the racetrack. Once more come the likes of Leclerc. We've jumped Leclerc and Sainz. Ricciardo only rejoins just in front of us. That's the bit of fortune that we needed to get in the mix for the podium in this Brazilian Grand Prix. Only 5 to go. The gap to Verstappen, the podium runner, is 3.5 seconds. So we're going to have to hope to push like crazy over these next few laps. Get a leapfrog on Ricciardo with a DRS up the inside into the first corner with another fastest lap. We're now into the top 4 now, and the gap is 2.9 as Verstappen and Hamilton are starting to squabble. They're starting to squabble. Sebastian Vettel is looking pretty good there out in the clear. He's managed to jump Hamilton. He's fallen into the clutches of Verstappen and now being overtaken by the Red Bull driver is Lewis Hamilton. There he goes, fighting back into the center S, but it's to no avail. And Verstappen gets himself up on a P2. There's me off in the background. Sebastian Vettel was in the foreground, leading by a few seconds there, but this squabbling is allowing me to rejoin into this fight. Another fast lap from there from Sebastian Vettel. It's happy hour as the track continues to evolve, continues to get faster. It's improved by 6 seconds over the last couple of minutes. And yeah, it's really starting to ramp up. It'll continue to be happy hour right across till we get to the end of the race, really. But yeah, everyone's setting fastest laps basically as they cross the line. This is the penultimate lap though. And Verstappen has got a lot of pace in that Red Bull. He's stretched away from Hamilton. He's outside of DRS. And now Verstappen is clear. But Hamilton is the one that's vulnerable to us as we dip into the 5s on the last lap through the center S for the final time. Up in the rich and overtake. DRS is now open. And this has to be the chance that we strike. We can't afford to overtake down into turn 1. Because that'll be the end of the race. We have to overtake in a different section of the track. We don't have much time left. Up into overtake. Up the inside of Hamilton into the double right-hander. We give him a little bit of a squeeze on the exit. On the left-hand side, we're through now for P3, but we've overshot the corner. Hamilton undercuts again and gets back onto the podium once again, but it's side by side for the two of us. I am out of breath as we head into the 3rd sector. Don't Albon this into this corner. We haven't, and we're fine. But Hamilton retains 3rd place in this Brazilian Grand Prix. But we've got the grunt, we've got the horsepower, we've got the low downforce. We're going to use that 2-hour effect with Rich, overtake, and DRS up to the line. It's going to be another drag race for Lewis Hamilton at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and we get him at the line to go from last place to podium.
Brilliant job, mate. That's a fantastic podium. Super driving, really strong pace. Very, very happy.
My goodness. I am out of breath.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Vettel wins, clear out in front, managed to hold firm with the consistency there on both the inters and the dries. Hamilton falling into the clutches of Verstappen and losing a podium. Unlucky there for the Mercedes driver, but there we go, last place to podium. We really left that late, but we just got it done in the end there, just like Pierre Gasly on Hamilton, just managing to out-drag him. But there we go, that's a podium. That may well be the last victory Vettel gets in an F1 game career mode ever from me, which is actually kind of sad. But we'll have to wait and see. There is still one to go. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He may well get retained for next season. Who knows? Maybe at another team. There has been no announcement of retirement for Vettel. So he may well be staying on. It's just a case of whether other teams are interested in picking him up. But the Drivers' Championship gap is 43 points. There's only 26 left on offer. We have already ramped up the championship in the last race, so I don't know what the commentators, what I was playing at, doing another round of burnouts. I'm happy to do it again in Abu Dhabi. Why not? But yeah, that was the Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Wet to dry right at the end there. There were phases in the race where we lost a bit of momentum, like when the track was starting to dry out on the inters. I felt like I lost a bit of confidence at that phase and wasn't making the gains that I was previously when I knew exactly what the grip level was. And I think for me that's the area of the race where it kind of fell away for us. And then I think immediately after switching onto the second set of intermediate tires, I wasn't as strong on that set as what I was at the very start of the race, in my opinion. But yeah, that is where we lost the chance to win. But you know, going from last to within 6 seconds of winning on the podium, not a bad shout indeed. Maybe I should have just stayed on the one set of intermediate tires and held out for dries. We might have been able to win that way, but that would have been a massive, massive risk. In the end, we did a lot of overtaking, and I certainly had a blast. Hopefully you guys did too. Join me again for the final race of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where again, we will be starting from the back, and this could well be the end of a dynasty for Marduk Motorsport, for Sebastian Vettel, because you never know what might happen with the regulation changes. That's it from me. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.